rare and balanced view on politics in today's world. Based on facts, born of rationality, common sense, and logic, providing context on today's events. This is American Perspective with Rick Thomas.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to American Perspective. Sorry about last night's being off, but, life happens occasionally. Anyway, I have an AI overlord. Anyway, I've been told I have one somewhere. Anyway, all right. Oh, how much I wonder if some of that was actually written by AI. Talking about a paper that was passed along to me by the matriarch of the Whiskey Warrior P1s that talks about election integrity. I haven't had time to digest it yet, but I hopefully will get to it before too much longer. Anyway, supposedly it will potentially give me gastrointestinal distress. We'll see. All right, folks. Oh, I want to thank the state of New Jersey. I know, it seems weird. I'm thanking a Democrat leftist hellhole state. But I got to thank them because they provided exactly the type of information that I've been needing for quite some time. See, these leftist lunatics on Facebook and other social media outlets keep saying, oh, no, there's no elections fraud. Illegals don't vote in our elections. You listen to the Democrats in Congress, they all say the same thing. Oh, no, the illegals don't vote because it's 5 years in prison if you do, and if you're caught. Oh, there's never been a proven, so on and so forth. Never been proven. It's just a Republican talking point. Oh, yesterday, and I know I'm a day late, but yesterday, the New Jersey Democrat governor, I think, how is it pronounced? I think it's Mikey, not Mickey. I keep wanting to say Mickey because, she is kind of funny like Mickey Mouse. Anyway, is it Mikey, Cheryl? I think that's how it's pronounced, Mikey. She made a big announcement, and boy, let me tell you, if all you're doing is just going to look at 1 out of 50 states, because I guarantee you, if it's happening in one, it's happening everywhere. See, it's kind of like rats and roaches. You see one and there's hundreds of thousands otherwise. Yeah. But this has only happened. It's only happened in one state. Really? I want you guys to realize that was 1 year, by the way. 1 year. It was the 2023 to 2024. And that's what they found. Anyway, we'll get to that here in just a minute. But first, let's go ahead and kick off tonight's show, like we always do, with the Pledge of Allegiance. And tonight's Pledge of Allegiance is being done by none other than Mama 5 Kitties. That's right, Mama 5 Kitties is up for the pledge. So if you are of mind, please stand, remove your hat, if you're wearing one, like me. Place your hand over your heart and follow along with Mama 5 Kitties as she recites the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen.
And, of course, I thank you, Mama 5 Kitties, for that wonderful rendition of the pledge. If you would like to hear your rendition of the pledge played here on the program, all you need to do is record yourself reciting or performing the pledge in your style. Take that audio file, video file, whatever kind of file, and attach it to an email. Send it off to me. Send it to fans, F-A-N-S, at AmericanPerspective.online. That's fans, F-A-N-S, at AmericanPerspective.online. And I will get you into the rotation. I have 25 of these things. I need 26. Just need one more to reach my goal of 26 in 2026. So if you haven't done so yet and would like to, please go ahead and create your rendition of the pledge. And if you use your phone to do the recording, then utilize the share option. That's the S-H-A-R-E option. And if you do it using that, you can then send it off to me. Send it to fans, F-A-N-S, at AmericanPerspective.online. And I will get you into the rotation as soon as possible. All right. Let's move on to tonight's headline sponsor, which is none other than The American View. That's right. The American View, formerly known as the Institute on the Constitution, longtime sponsor of this program. The American View is where we prepare the victors. They have a vision. It is a nation of effective and influential contributors to American government, society, and culture, prepared by educational resources focused on the biblical and transformative heritage of America's founding. You can start your journey of learning and preparing by being a defender of truth, liberty, and God-given rights. Take a look at the U.S. Constitution course. It's currently on sale for $76. This is because of the 250th anniversary of this great nation. $76. That's a good price for this thing. And if you want to get a taste of what is in the Constitution course, come over here where you go, theamericanview.com/study. Oh, I didn't put that up. theamericanview.com/study, and you'll come to this page where you'll be able to get lesson 1 for free. All you need to do is enter your first name, last name, email address, and then click the button that says Get Lesson 1 Free, and it'll be delivered directly to your email inbox. This is a nationally recognized 100% online course. Having the study guide, though, is awesome because you can keep referring to it over and over and over again. It comes with a bunch of other educational materials, too. But go and check that out. Each course, there's 12 short lessons. Each lesson is roughly about 15, 20 minutes long. And you can go and do that. And then you can think about, after you do that, doing the rest of their courses, or donate or sponsor, become a member, or better yet, become an instructor. That's right. Become an instructor. Leave a legacy. Restore the constitutional republic and prepare the future by hosting courses in your community. That's right. It is time to lead. Now, becoming an instructor is really pretty simple. It takes 3 steps. Here's a video on how you can do it right here. You can go and check that out at theamericanview.com. And then also pick up their 5 tips for a successful class. They're not going to leave you hanging. Oh, and if you want even more information, well, check out their instructor kit. You can grab that by heading over to their shop. That's right. Go to theamericanview.com/shop. Theamericanview.com/shop. And you'll be able to pick up their U.S. Constitution course, other educational resources, self-evident apparel, instructor materials. That's where you would pick up all those instructor kits and materials for the courses that you would be hosting. And you can head on over to the Legacy Library that's right here above my head. Legacy Library. Yeah, it's filled with leather. I love my leather. They have the leather Declaration of Independence, leather Bill of Rights, leather Magna Carta, leather U.S. Constitution wall hanging. You know, I would love to grab all of those and put them in a studio or a room. Frame them such so that they don't break down, obviously, over time. But you know what won't break down over time? My personal favorite, the leather Constitution book. That they are right there. They sell it right there. Here it is in my hot little hand. Yeah, I say it doesn't break down because it's got a 100-year warranty against materials and manufacturing defects, such that if you have a problem with this thing, you can send it back to the manufacturer. They will either fix it or replace it for free. My Whiskey Warrior P13 Chevy says all Roman numerals have a 100-year ascending numerical order guarantee because that's just how we roll. And can't forget the sexy rounded corners. Thank you, Bonnie. Also, G says victors who are prepared read the Pocket Constitution and admire it for its stitching, whose lifespan is also durable and long-lived. Well, what is he talking about in terms of stitching? Let's take a look. This is 1/8 of an inch of Saddleback leather wrapped around pages that are water and tear resistant. No cheap glue here, folks. There's the stitching. And it goes all the way through the leather and the pages contained within. My youngest whiskey warrior has confirmed that the information within this book will help you to achieve your civics badge in Scouts. Not to mention, will probably help you pass your civics exam and your naturalization test. Check that out. That's a 3-for-1. And all you got to do is spend $19, man. 3 for 1 right here. Plus, you can put this in your pocket, carry it with you all the time. And then, of course, hand it to somebody who is a leftist liberal, and they will probably melt like the Wicked Witch of the West in The Wizard of Oz. It's like water touching them. They just, hey, I'm melting. Anyway, head on over to theamericanview.com, go to their shop, go to their legacy library, and pick up your copy of the Constitution in a leather-bound 100-year warranty format and carry it with you all the time. Head on over to theamericanview.com, check out all of their products and services, and I thank them for being a sponsor of this show. Alrighty. You know, if I had the money, I'd get 435. Actually, I take that back. I'd get 535 of these things, and I'd hand them out to every member in Congress. Watch how the leftists throw it away. You know, people like Rashida Tlaib, Ilhan Omar. Man, it would be awesome if that actually really did happen. If you touch them with the Constitution, that they would melt. Granted, it could be classified as murder, but, I mean, let's just face it. That would be hilarious. Anyway. Oh, all right. I'm sorry. I'm just laughing. Well, folks, maybe, possibly, cross your fingers. You know, pray to the good Lord above and know I am not taking his name in vain. Jack Smith may have to face the piper. So the Congress has sent a criminal referral to the DOJ for Jack Smith allegedly making false statements to Congress regarding the Trump probe. There's apparently strong evidence that he lied to Congress. Yeah, this goes back to when it was when he was asked about getting a warrant to spy on Congress. You know, if you have a job that could possibly run you afoul of an entity that has the ability to do this, like subpoena you, put you on the stand, put you under oath, may I make a suggestion? 1, do not, under any circumstances, lie. And number 2, don't spy on them in the first place and expect to get away with it. It's just, I don't know. This guy's not exactly the sharpest knife in the drawer, I don't think. I mean, everybody knows that he often runs outside and colors outside the lines of justice. We all know this because he's been smacked back. Anyway. So we'll see what happens, but House Judiciary Committee Chairman Jim Jordan says that newly released records appear to contradict Smith's testimony to the panel that he did not obtain or review text messages from lawmakers as his team looked into Trump's alleged, and again, they are alleged, no proof, alleged effort to interfere in the 2020 election. So he has sent over the letter which stated, the Committee on the Judiciary writes to refer strong evidence that appears to show Jack Smith, former special counsel, which, by the way, I still believe, realistically, I still believe that he was not constitutionally, legally appointed as special counsel. And in fact, I don't even think we have the ability to appoint special counsels anymore. Then again, I seriously question the constitutionality of any independent agency or person, period. All of that being said, he reportedly knowingly made false statements during his December 17, 2025 deposition. And he sent this in a letter to Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche. So there we go. Hopefully this time he'll get taken down. Now, we have another potentially illegal activity going on. Remember how Act Blue appeared in front of Congress? I know some people don't, but Act Blue's higher-ups appeared in front of Congress and took the fifth quite a bit. Well, yeah, it appears that their officials also lied to Congress about foreign donations. And again, Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche said that he's looking into those allegations and that it's a top priority for the DOJ. In April, Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton filed a lawsuit against Act Blue, and all of them pleaded the fifth when at a House Judiciary Oversight Committee. Well, now there is yet again more evidence that Act Blue has been using people's information to fund, in this particular case, Abdul El Sayed. He's the Democrat running for the U.S. Senate in Michigan. And meaning that Act Blue created a whole bunch of fake names. Apparently, they, somebody, I don't know, it's not listed. FEC campaign contributions have indicated that a 88-year-old Michigan woman who lives in a trailer, doesn't own a computer or anything else, put in $150,000 in donations, donating a total of 47 times to Abdul El Sayed's campaign. Oh, there's only one problem. When this individual got questioned about it by I'm going to guess, I don't know who's the one who did it, but it was probably one of those independent investigators. Anyway, it wasn't like Nick Sortur, but it was like Nick Sortur, but it wasn't Nick Sortur. Anyway, apparently somebody went and asked this woman the question, hey, did you happen to donate $150,000 over the past 5 years? 14,696 separate donations. The equivalent of 8 donations a day, every single day for the past 5 years, averaging $9.18. This woman, she lives on a modest pension. She is a true believer, unfortunately, of liberal causes. And she does make small political donations. However, she was forced to move into a shabby trailer 2 years ago. Her house burned down. She owns an old pickup, has 0 computers. And for whatever reason, she goes, 150,000? Hell no. I don't have that kind of money. Now, she does admit that she has contributed to Abdul El-Sayed, but not 47 times spanning the last 2 years. Yeah, so this falls into, it's not happening, but it's good that it is, files, is where this goes. Telling you, man, our elections and everything are just filled with a bunch of crap. We really need to clean this up. I mean, seriously, we need to clean this up. Do you wonder why these DSA people, which, even the more moderate Democrats are going like, holy crap, we're not wanting any of this. Yeah. Anyway, I don't know. But this is just something that needs to happen for sure. Well, Trump being the master troller that he is, he's not a master debater. There's a reason. There's a reason why you got to stick it in between. Okay. You got to stick the space in. Just say it really quick. 5 times fast, you'll figure it out. Anyway, Trump, being the master troller that he is, was down in Georgia. And, let's just say he, what do you call it? Shall we say, stirred the pot again for for all those leftist lunatic idiots. But here it is. Out of the mouth of the president himself.
Well, thank you very much, everybody. It's a special place, and I am here to announce my candidacy. I'm only kidding. Boy, I tell you what a group. We have thousands of people outside on a weekday.
Yeah, he's announcing his candidacy again. Well, technically in Georgia, he probably did win 3. With all the stuff that we're learning about right now. Anyway. Yeah. Okay, what happened to my cursor? There it is. All right. He is only kidding, sort of, but not really. But let's get serious here because, again, I keep talking about this idea. Now, I talked about this a couple of episodes ago. I mentioned to you that, securing our elections is sort of in the analogy that I used. And I actually, now that I think about it, I actually think it's a really good analogy. Because you have a fence around your yard, but you don't bother to lock the gate. And so when you see people, so first of all, just here's the really quick rundown of the association of all this. All right. The 1993 National Voter Registration Act, also known as the Motor Voter Act, put down a checkbox that basically says, hey, you check the box that basically states, hey, I want to become a voter. I want to register to vote here. And by checking this box, I certify that I am a United States citizen and that I do have the legal capability to vote. Okay, that's the checkbox. That by itself is the fence. The fence with the checkbox being the gate. Now, the gate's not locked, all right? All you have to do is hit that checkbox or press the little, checkbox on the computer. Believe me, this is very pertinent to our conversation here in a minute. Now, if you check that box, you enter the gate. And you get into the gate, you're in the yard. But just because you're in the yard doesn't necessarily mean you've done anything wrong as of yet. I mean, other than trespassing. Because saying that you're an American citizen actually is a criminal act when you're not. But that being said, all you've really done is just entered the yard. Now, the next place to go is in the house. And how you get into the house is you get that ballot delivered to you if you're in a mail-in ballot state, or you go to the polling place in a non-mail-in ballot state, and you walk into the door and you actually vote. Now, once you get that ballot and you vote, now you're not only accused of entering the house, but you've also stolen something from the house. You've stolen the vote. Okay, so there you go. That's the analogy. The first line of defense is that checkbox, but that checkbox has no lock on it. We do not have any independent verification. It's all a matter of trust. So we, as the people, based on this act, have trusted that people would be honest and would certify themselves under penalty of perjury that they are or are not a candidate or a U.S. citizen. Okay? That's the analogy. So keep that in mind. Hold that in mind as we walk through the rest of this stuff. So first of all, one of the biggest arguments that everybody is making, everybody on the left, okay, that is making a problem here, and the problem is that all of the leftists are like, well, okay, so maybe it happens, but, it didn't really change the presidential election. I don't think anybody who advocates for getting voter ID has stated that, oh, no, it has to affect the presidential election before we do something. Because let me go ahead and backtrack a little bit. And, again, I'm just putting this into an AI. I'm using Ask Leo, which is the Brave version of AI. And I just put in and said, hey, name all the U.S. elections where the vote winner got less than 1,000 votes. We're just going to say 1,000 votes. Well, the presidential election in 1884 was decided by 1,047 votes in New York when Grover Cleveland defeated James G. Blaine. The 1916 election hinged on California, where Woodrow Wilson defeated Charles Evans Hughes by 3,420 votes. Now, of course, the left's going to be like, well, wait a minute, what about that whole electoral college thing? Well, here's the problem, folks. Here's the problem. The electoral college in 48 of the 50 states is winner take all. Meaning that if you win the popular vote within that state, the electoral college folks who go off and do it, they are supposed to give it to the person who wins in that state. That's what it is it's winner take all. There's none of this like an electorate or the electoral college people going, you know what? The people are just plain wrong. Even though that was the entire purpose and point of it, was to, make sure that the people are not the ones that are voting for it, but the states went ahead and just changed it. Now, in two of the states, Nebraska and Maine, they actually do it differently. And I have advocated for, if you want to clean all this electoral college stuff up where the people are talking about, oh, let's do the popular vote. All right, fine. Electoral college votes go by whoever wins whatever county, regardless of the state. Whatever legislative district, county, whatever, okay? That's all you do, all right? That county or that district, whatever the precinct is, you know, that goes. And what ends up happening there is now all of a sudden you're on a county by county basis to win the vote or the vote for the president. So the president no longer has things like swing states. There are no swing states because the states don't matter anymore. And we get closer, seriously, to more of a popular vote, but it's a lot better because now you have the electoral college votes. In California, instead of 55 going to the Democrat automatically, or 54 or 53, whatever the population has turned it into now, the population loss. But instead of having all 55 going to one candidate, you would have, you know, maybe 35 going to one candidate and the rest going to the other candidate, the Republican. Anyway, I digress. The problem is not so much at the presidential level in terms of these small margins. It's more at the lower level. Okay? The lower levels, like the state and the state elections and local elections. For an example, in 2017, Virginia House of Delegates District 94 race between David Yancey and Shelley Simons ended in a certified tie. There was a 1-vote deficit that was corrected. And that led to Yancey winning in what is called a random draw. In 1971, the Virginia House of Delegates District 19 seat was awarded to William Moss by a blindfolded draw after a court ruling created the tie with Jim Bosch. That doesn't just happen in Virginia. 2010 Massachusetts House of Representatives race was initially declared a 1-vote win for Peter Durant, then ruled a tie with Geraldo Alcia, leading to a special election where Durant won by just 56 votes. In 1996, South Dakota's House of Representatives, District 12, saw Hal Wick certified as elected by a 1-vote margin over John McIntyre after a recount and court review. In 1983, oh, that's up in Canada, never mind. Those are just examples of very small margin elections. So now let's get to what happened in New Jersey. And you know what? Scott Jennings does a really good job explaining what happened in New Jersey. And so I'm just going to let the Scott Jennings truth bomb take over. Let's take a listen to what happened as he is schooling the leftist lunatics on this panel on CNN.
As they're trying to defraud the system, they might have cast a ballot because they just weren't aware that they were incorrectly put on the voter roll.
They weren't aware that they weren't a citizen of the United States?
No,
they said in this instance that they weren't citizens. They were still
Is this accurately described as fraud when none of these people tried to register to vote?
Yes, they cast ballots. 400 of them cast ballots. They had to actively go do that. I assume no one voted in their name. Maybe they did. I don't know. But they actively cast a ballot. Did they not?
What I want to, but
an illegal alien gets put on the rolls, however they got there, and cast a ballot.
I mean, but you acknowledge that some people might actually be confused, because this has come up in courts before, where some people who are ineligible to vote are not aware that they're ineligible to vote.
So now it's not happening. Now the answer is, well, people aren't aware of it. Okay, let me just put something out there really quickly. Ignorance of the law does not mean you get absolved of the law when you break it. End of story. You cannot go to court and claim ignorance of the law and not expect to get a criminal reaction to it. Okay? So, yeah. Yeah. Now, Scott Jennings didn't really cover this, but here's what happened. There were 6,600 illegal aliens. 6,600 illegal aliens that were found as a part of the voter rolls for the 2023-2024 year. Those 6,600 illegal aliens were claimed by Mikey Sherrill. I'm going to go with Mikey because I think that's how it is. Were claimed by Mikey Sherrill to have got on the rolls inadvertently due to a software glitch. And then she also stated that 400 of these people actually did cast ballots. Now, there you go. See, 400 didn't cast ballots. And I just told you about multiple cases of less than 1,000 ballots that were deciding elections. Some of them at the state level. I would imagine if we could dig into the local level races, you'd probably find plenty of those that would be changed. One wrong ballot, one ineligible ballot is too many for this. Okay? It's too many for this. Now, the lie or the story, the allegation by Mikey Sherrill that it was a software glitch, well, that got a pin put in it right away. Take a look at this. This is from the Epoch Times. Software company, IDEMIA, IDEMIA, the company that has worked with New Jersey's motor vehicle system for more than 40 years. They released a statement on July 22nd that pushed back on that claim. In the email to the Epoch Times, it's IDEMIA, I think that's how it's pronounced. IDEMIA is an identification software provider, acknowledged the individuals disclaimed U.S. citizenship, but also said that they indicated yes in wanting to register to vote. The company suggested that the New Jersey government itself was responsible for the non-citizens being placed on the state's voter rolls. So they did not check the box that says, I certify under penalty of perjury that I am a U.S. citizen, but they did check the box that says, hey, I want to register to vote. Now do you see my problem? We got the fence up, but the gate has no check or balance with any of this. The company stated the voter registration information is transmitted to the New Jersey Department of State Division of Elections, which is ultimately responsible for verifying the eligibility to vote. Information submitted by IDEMIA must still be validated and adjudicated by the Division of Election. Yep. Yep. Now, here's the thing, and again, I go back to the 1993 National Voter Registration Act, known as the Motor Voter Act. Sherrill noted that the registrations were for individuals applying for identification cards or driver's licenses between 2023 and 2024. Here's why. I have a lot of people who sit there and complain, you can't make everybody get a passport. Well, this is exactly why. You cannot accept a driver's license that basically says, hey, you know, I got a driver's license. You can't accept that as a assurance that you were born in the United States, that you are a citizen. Now, I'm going to table that birthright citizenship crap. But anyway, this is the whole point. This is why I'm saying you need something that actually designates that that somebody somewhere has seen an official copy of a birth certificate that states that you were born in the United States and that you are a legal citizen. Anyway. Oh my gosh. Well, the plot thickens even deeper, folks, in all of this, because apparently New Jersey Democrats did nothing for years after these warnings that there were non-citizens on voter rolls. Now, I'm just going to point this out. You have a state like California. You have a state like Washington. You have a state like Oregon, who basically use mail-in balloting as, no, you don't have to go to a polling place. We're going to send it. We're going to send... Oh, I'm being requested. Okay, fine. Here you go, guys.
You're a dumbass. You're a dumbass. You're grade A, #1, bona fide first class. You're a dumbass. You're a dumbass. And you'll be one all your dumbass life.
Yeah, okay. Hey, when the matriarch calls, man. Anyway, apparently, according to this report in the Federalist, New Jersey Democrats did nothing over all of this. Did nothing. Yeah, 400 out of 6,600 non-citizens. So there you go. 400 people voted. Whether they were supposed to or not, they still did it. Like, come on. Yeah. You know what's really bad and sad about this whole thing is that Mickey Sherrill, or Mikey, whatever her freaking name is. Anyway, she mentioned, let me be clear, Donald Trump has zero credibility on the issue of elections integrity. However, let me just explain to you that over the course of a year, 6,600 non-citizens landed on the Garden State's voter rolls in 23 and 24, and 400 of those voted. But, yeah. Donald Trump has zero credibility. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. And, of course, again, now keep in mind, that's just 1 year. It's just 1 year. Anyway. Well, the DOJ has decided to step in, which they should. The DOJ demands answers on New Jersey's voter roll scandal. Yep. So Harmeet Dillon, remember how Harmeet Dillon made that statement and sent that letter out saying, hey, if we find that you guys were complicit in this, guess what? You're going to get charged with a crime also. And now Harmeet Dillon sent off a letter saying, hey, New Jersey Governor Mikey Sherrill and Lieutenant Governor Dave Caldwell, you have 5 business days to turn over additional information to assess New Jersey's compliance with various federal statutes. Now, keep in mind, they originally, the Justice Department that is, previously requested information back on July 7th. So, yeah. By the way, Lieutenant Governor Dale Caldwell of New Jersey serves as the Secretary of State and oversees its divisions of elections. Preserve any and all records. Dillon wants the names of the 6,600 individuals identified. So, yeah. There you go. Dylan also writes, additionally, please treat this correspondence as a request to preserve any and all records related to today's disclosure. So now, by the way, they offered the update on the new developments to the lawsuit that they have right now, the United States versus Caldwell, where they were seeking New Jersey's unredacted voter rolls. You remember how I was saying before that there were states that didn't comply? Yeah, there you go. There you go. You know, I'm starting to get to a point that I'm really starting to wonder where these leftists seem to think that for whatever reason, everything that comes out of a conservative's well-researched pack of information all of a sudden becomes, oh, but that's just conspiracy theory. Now remember, conspiracy theories are now called spoiler alerts. So, spoiler alert, we're going to be finding more of these as things move on. We're going to be finding more of these situations popping up across all of the United States, except for the ones that have already cleaned all their voter rolls and done everything the right way. So there you go. Hey, I want to put not a shout out, but I want to put a statement out to all of those idiots over on Facebook. Hey, you dumbasses who said that I posting information that was culled from justfactsdaily.com, who does a extremely good job in researching and providing up to date and researched information on the voter roll problem and the voting problem. All of you who are out there, all of you leftist lunatics who either put in the laugh emoji or decided to tell me that I was off my rocker, yeah, in colorful ways sometimes, you can just kiss my rear end. Because now you have, I had proof before. I pointed out proof before. There's proof everywhere. But you didn't believe it. Well, now we have a leftist lunatic governor who has now admitted that, yes, it does happen. There you go. Well, looking forward, let's look forward to 2028. 2028, apparently there's a new poll from the University of New Hampshire Survey Center that actually shows that we as the GOP, because I'm not part of the GOP, I'm a strict constitutionalist and have never registered as a party follower in any way, shape, or form. I may vote with the GOP, but that doesn't mean that I am a member of the GOP. Anyway, many Republicans are starting to look toward 2028 as the 2026 midterms get closer. And, well, now it seems like we may have a flip, a coin toss between Marco Rubio and J.D. Vance as an option, because the GOP voters in this key primary state of New Hampshire, well, they're kind of softening on Vance and hardening on Rubio. Apparently, the poll finds J.D. Vance at 36% of the state's primary vote if it were held today, with Rubio trailing 10 points behind at 26%. Kentucky Senator Rand Paul picked up 8%, and so did UN Ambassador Nikki Haley. 6% would choose Ron DeSantis, 4% would choose Tulsi Gabbard, and 2% would choose Louisiana Senator John Kennedy. Other candidates all amassed less than 2% of the poll. Now, most people would look at that and go, oh, that puts J.D. Vance and Marco Rubio against each other. Oh, no. No, no, no. I say that just demonstrates how strong of a ticket they would be combined. Oh my gosh. If you put J.D. Vance in as the president and Marco Rubio as vice president, that would be the power ticket for this year. I'm just saying, or for 2028. I'm just saying. I'm sorry, Ron DeSantis is good. He would be a great alternative if J.D. Vance decides not to run. But here's my challenge with this, is that Ron DeSantis, if he'd have just stayed out of it in 2024, I think he got his head blown up by somebody. And by that, I'm not meaning explosive. I mean, somebody was whispering in his ear and increased his head size and his ego. They put him in there and, started talking and saying, oh, yeah, you could beat Trump. You could beat Trump. What DeSantis should have done is just been like, look, I am the governor of the state of Florida. I'm going to stay here for my next 2 years and be done with it. If he'd have done that and come back in 2028, then you would have a serious contender. But as of right now, people are sitting here looking at this and they're going, 6% in New Hampshire. So, yeah. I'm just, I know I don't want to pick on Ron DeSantis. I mean, he's a great governor. He's a really good Republican. He does a whole bunch of good stuff for the state of Florida. I'm not going to deny that. And he could have been, but he decided to go and try to get up in front of Trump. And unfortunately, that is not what the electorate wanted. Anyway, well, maybe it's a little too far out. Let's get through 2026 first, okay? But at least this gives kind of an interesting little look. I'm being told by the matriarch. DeSantis is a great governor and should have waited his time. You're right. He should have. I agree. All right. Well, for anybody who's thinking that we're not going to be headed toward a shutdown because the House passed this budget. Yeah. John Thune, baby. John Thune decides to go ahead and throw a little cold water on the whole thing. So today he indicated that he lacked sufficient votes to approve the House-passed reconciliation plan to provide funding for the Iran war and the series of electoral reforms. So in other words, the SAVE Act stuff that got into the House bill, yeah, it's going to go nowhere in the Senate. It's going to go nowhere in the Senate. That's here we are, folks. Oh, John Thune. What? He's got I don't even think he's got balls. His sack is empty. I'm just saying. Anyway, according to The Hill, John Thune says, as I've said before, you got to get to 50, and I can't count to 50. Right now on the budget resolution, I was thinking that he can't count to 50, which would be like, yeah, okay, that's because you're stupid. Anyway, he says, I can't count to 50 right now on a budget resolution. We'll have those conversations with the conference. The priority is funding the government. To me, that's the thing we've got to keep our eyes on. Well, I hate to tell you this, Mr. Thune. Okay? Mr. Thune. Not only is funding the government important and a constitutional duty, but protecting our elections is also a constitutional priority. Yeah. So, there you go. Anyway. All right. I've taken a lot of hits on this one, too. I've made comments on this show, and I am historically and legally accurate here when I say that the United States Constitution does not cover non-citizens. And I have pointed out that if the Constitution covered non-citizens, then non-citizens would be able to exercise their Second Amendment right to keep and bear arms. The courts have all cited throughout history that no, non-citizens do not have a right to keep and bear arms. In fact, you have to be essentially a permanent resident alien in order to even gain the right to purchase a firearm here in the United States. Now, all of that being said, I have also said that illegal aliens are not citizens, meaning that they don't even have a right to the United States Constitution because, technically speaking, by the courts, no matter if they are in the country or not, if they are here illegally, lawfully, they are considered to have been at the border. And like a lot of these leftist lunatics are trying to say that the United States Constitution covers everybody in the world, it doesn't. It doesn't even cover all of the people here in the United States. It only covers citizens. And I'm going to point out to you as well that if you cross the line as a citizen and become a criminal, well, your rights as a citizen are stripped from you. The right to freely walk around, the right to actually, go and vote, the right to keep and bear arms, all of these things which are constitutional rights. When you are a criminal, a convicted criminal, you get all of those stripped away. So there is plenty of evidence as to why the Constitution does not cover everybody. It only covers law-abiding citizens. Well, the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals just issued another ruling that covers this. Fifth Circuit Court rules that illegal aliens do not have a constitutional right to roam free in the United States. This came from a lawsuit that was essentially geared toward, hey, if you're an illegal alien that you're caught and you're going through the removal proceedings process, that due process, in particular in the Constitution, covers you. And you should be eligible to, go and get bail and roam around and so on and so forth. Yeah. Well, the ruling, which was led by Chief Judge Jennifer Elrod, overturned a lower court's decision granting bond hearings and releasing 3 illegal immigrants from ICE custody, and basically put the lower court's orders on hold, pending a full appeal. Folks, if you're an illegal alien, you are not a citizen, you are not entitled to the rights that are granted in the Constitution. See, because there's this little problem. You became a criminal, okay? You're here illegally. You are a member of a foreign state, wherever you came from. If you're a citizen of those other foreign countries, guess what? The U.S. Constitution does not apply to you. Now, that being said, there are certain things that we, as Americans, okay, as Americans, extend to you. For an example, we extend to you the right of a lawyer. We extend to you the right of, I'm trying to think. I just got lost. We extend certain rights to you as you are here in the United States. But that doesn't mean that they are given to you by the Constitution and they cannot be taken away. Even though we as Americans know that that some of these rights are given to us by God, okay? But if you come here on a visa and you speak out against the government, and you speak out and in favor of our enemies, and you do things to help support those enemies, guess what? You can be deported. There you go. Your speech isn't necessarily protected. It is to a certain point, but not everything is protected. I just, ugh. All right, I've walked over my time. Anyway, I just get so frustrated because these people, there's so many people, especially those on the socials that are leftists, they don't even understand. They don't get it. They just don't get it. And the Constitution does not apply to everybody. Due process does not apply to everybody. We offer things like the Fifth Amendment to people. We offer that to them. Anyway. Alrighty, folks, that is it for me for this evening. Do me a favor, if you haven't already, head on over to rumble.com, get yourself an account. It is free. And once you are signed up and signed in, make sure that you search up the American Perspective channel and hit that green follow button to get notified every time that I go live. Also, don't forget to go and check out pilled.net, PILLED.net, as an alternative platform that I just picked up not too long ago and have been streaming to. Do me a favor before you take off, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, or in the case of Three Shabby, a thumb sideways or maybe in an angle across all my platforms, whether it's X, YouTube, Facebook, of course, pilled.net, and Rumble, the aforementioned Rumble. We will see you tomorrow night, Friday night, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. It's Friday, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on American Perspective. Have a great rest of your evening, and good night, everybody.